Okay, so I was really excited to be able to include the 6 by 12 half rectangle triangles with the HuRTy. But in order to not make the ruler even bigger so we can accommodate it, there's a few things you do a little bit differently with the half rectangle, with the HuRTy, in order to cut as well as for squaring up. So I'm going to go through that really quick. And for cutting, it's actually, if you do the 5.5 by 11 or the 6 by 12, you'll need to do this. It's really simple. It's not difficult. It's just a little bit different than all of the other sizes. So you'll see I have this 13-inch strip, and it barely even fits on the cameras. I think you can see sort of the top and the bottom of the strip barely on those two edges of the camera. You don't need to really see them, but just so you can see the size of it. So once again, 6 by 12 is the finished dimension. You 1 inch bigger than the largest dimension, so 12 plus 1 is 13, so that's the height of the strip. And I know I need a total of 19 of these because I'm actually making a baby other side quilt with this as my background and one color for the rows. I'm super excited about it. So I decided to use a real quilt for the demo. So, and we need B triangles for that. So B start at the top, where we're going to place that orange cutting guide on the edge of the fabric, and we're going to touch the bottom with the arrow. So just like we've been doing, it's kind of on the left side of your screen here, but I'm going to cut a few of these so that you can get the rhythm of cutting them. Make sure this is nice and flat here. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it very well, but the ruler stops here. So we have another, maybe 1.5 inches here. The beauty of this is that we do not have to worry super about precision. So as long as this is relatively, this line needs to be nice and pretty straight. I don't ever do anything super extra with it. If you're worried about it, you could grab a tiny ruler like a 2 by 8 or something and just butt it up to the end and use that to continue. But I don't do that. I'll show you how I do it. So I'll start cutting the same as if it was one of the smaller shapes. Now this is you only have to do this for the 5.5 by 11 or the 6 by 12. So we're going to start cutting, stop when we get to the end of the ruler, and then slide it down. And it works. And I'm just lining the edge of the ruler up with the line we just cut, and then we continue. Flip it top to bottom. Flip it top to bottom. And then on the side as well, it's a little 1/2 inch extra here. I don't even shift the ruler here. I just come straight down and then away from me. So you have a couple of different ways you can do that, but once again, we really save our precision for squaring up. So flip it top to bottom. I'll show you how I do that one more time. We align the orange dashed cutting guide with the outside edge of the fabric, touch the arrow to the bottom edge of the fabric. We're cutting B's here. I cut to the end of the ruler, almost the end of the ruler. Then I slide, aligning the edge of that ruler with the line that we just cut. There we go. This pretty fabric I can't see very well on. And then we continue that cut, just like that, all the way to the end. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the rest of the strip. This is actually a white back, so I may be able to get all 19 out of it. And then I'm going to sew one up for you and then show you how to square it down. So join me to see that in just a moment. The great thing about squaring up 6x12s is we don't have to move the ruler. So we can just cut around the whole perimeter of the HuRTy. So this is a B, 6x12 B. It's already been pieced and cut, pieced, and pressed. And now we're just going to look at squaring it up. I did grab my Martelli roundabout for this. It's a rotating cutting mat. Any of the larger cutting mats really work nicely for this. Because of the fact that we don't have to move it again, then it's really nice just to be able to rotate and then to cut the other side. And so the only thing we have to do is you want to make sure the ruler basically has a little bit of fabric on all sides, and we want to align that seam line on the ruler with our seam line on our fabric. All the way around, just like that. So now I can cut here and here, and then rotate it, and then you still want to make sure that seam line is nice and lined up. That just ensures that your points are in the perfect places. We want that 1/4 inch seams in our corners. The two most important parts to line up is here and here, because that will ensure perfect points for our half rectangle triangles. So we're looking at the whole seam line, but those are the two that we're really trying to line up. So here and here. So it's just slightly different. It's actually easier in some ways. And that's the 6x12 half rectangle triangle. I actually love this size because it goes together really quick and easy. Squaring up is a lot easier because we don't have to move the HuRTy. And of course we know that bigger units make bigger blocks, make quilts. They go together a lot quicker. And y'all know how I love a quick quilt. All right, let's go to the next section.